first things have passed away. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. When I read the lectionary for today, the passage that stood out to me the most was the Gospel of John, when Jesus said, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. In that short message, Jesus says, love one another 3 times, just in case the disciples weren't listening. As a 14-year-old in the United States, how do I read this? In a climate where events of violence happen, like Sandy Hook, Parkland, the University of North Carolina, and the STEM School of Colorado, how can I live this gospel in my life? I think about my life and what I experienced through my schooling and how that has shaped me. I think about the first time I had a lockdown drill. I was in 2nd grade, and I was 8 years old, right after the shooting at Sandy Hook. During that drill, I huddled together with my classmates, our backs against our cubbies. As we waited, our teacher read us a book. During that drill, I was scared. Even though I did know it was a drill, I was scared that my school would be next, and that someone might come and hurt us. That was just the beginning of my career as a terrified student. It is hard to cope with the fear, especially because we seem to hear about school shootings more and more. Usually, I try to avoid this fear so I can focus on my school, and so that I do not get overwhelmed with the fear of experiencing violence in my school. How does this all correspond with the gospel? Jesus preaches about love, loving everyone, the prisoner, the thief, the woman at the well, the person who betrays you, the poor, the hungry, the lonely, and every human being. In the baptismal covenant and in our prayers, Jesus is asking us to return to love. But how do people learn how to love? The way babies learn how to love, and the way I learned how to love. Through repeated experiences of being cared for, being swaddled, fed, smiled at, cuddled, tickled, and having basic needs taken care of, and then most definitely in my case, being sung to. Through these repeated experiences of being cared for, babies learn what love is, and in return, we know what love is. Repeated experiences and statements help us to learn to love and honor God by loving one another. At St. Martin's, I learned that I was loved partly through the children's service, where we would sing the song, you know it. I see the love of God in you, the light of Christ comes shining through, and I am blessed to be with you, O holy child of God. That's what about the love of the St. Martin's community. The way that we show love for one another at St. Martin's is a reflection of the importance of love in our community. When we say the baptismal covenant, we are asked, will you proclaim by word and example the good news of God in Christ? And we say, I will, with God's help. And will you seek to serve Christ in all persons, loving your neighbor as yourself? And we say, I will,
with God's help.
With God's help. When we do this, we are affirming that we will commit ourselves to prioritize love as we engage with each other, in the church and in the world. We are called to love through our baptism. At the beginning of our lives, God is calling us towards love so that we can love one another. When Jesus says, love one another as I have loved you, it means he is talking about showing love for your fellow student, teacher, your peers, fellow churchgoers, family members, or clergy members. Jesus is showing love in this way through the disciples, showing them that there's more to life than meets the eye. Love was not a commandment before, but it is now. The original 10 commandments do matter, but they are no match for love. Jesus shows love to those who may not be worthy in our minds, those who crucified him and those who doubted him. And Jesus knows the love everywhere he goes, at the Last Supper, on the cross, and out of the grave. We can learn to love through church or school, or wherever house of worship we attend. We can show love through bad times and good ones, happiness and sadness, and through every event in our lives. But being called to love does not always mean that we act with love. We need to have the intention to love, not to fear, or to hate, or not to be sad, but to love. And God helps us to have that intention. Love empowers people to be better people. Love helps us cope with fear, hate, and sadness. As I learned to love, I learned that during events like the lockdown drill when I was in second grade, or when I was sad, I know that I can be loved, and that I am still able to love. Love is an antidote to fear, sadness, and hate. Love can look different in practice, as simply as when my teacher read us a book during my first lockdown drill to keep us calm and telling us that she would protect us if anything ever happened. My mom told me a quote that goes like this: "Okay, I know that there are a lot of terrible, terrible people out there, but listen, there are also people that who stop and smile at tiny things going on sidewalk cracks, like Barb Ballenger. People who laugh so loud they snort, like Alice and Harvey. People who compliment others randomly, like Kathy Glacier. People who take pictures of their friends because they love seeing their friends happy, like Barry Gould. People who ramble on about things they're passionate about, like James Ken. People who blush and stutter, like Barb Ballenger. People who are warm. People who are kind. People who love and love and love